Internet broadband providers. Yep, it's going to be a long fucking episode. So, just to give you a bit of background, I'm the sort of person who likes playing games. Generally speaking, but not when it comes to dealing with legalities, your day-to-day bills, and dealing with internet providers. Now, Sky is going to be the main attraction at this circus, because I have dealt with Sky for the past 2 to 3 years. For people that don't know, maybe you're from a different country, Sky is mainly a TV broadband service provider in the UK and Britain, and they're quite big and popular. Now, unfortunately, actually dealing with them on a personal level, it's fucking awful, and I'll get into more details about that, and more general topics about just the state of connections around the world, internet being one of the main examples. It's just abysmal at how the adoption rate and the rollout of current broadband to everybody for a decent price and not being controlled like a monopoly. And that is essentially what it is. It's a monopoly. These guys hold all the cards, and we just beg like peasants for their service. And we jump through every hoop, pay every bill, and put up with it. But why should we put up with it? This is not just a service that we can really decide that we just want to have. It's been declared in a few countries, and quite rightfully so, and I can't wait till every country does it, declares broadband internet a utility. It should be up there with water and electricity. It really should. It's a day-to-day necessity. It's part of our lives. And to have it fucking held hostage beyond these ridiculous circumstances that we get put accountable to because of these fucking companies. Now, Sky, with my personal note, to give you an idea of how it is for me in current modern age Britain. A couple of years ago, I was on a normal broadband contract, and it was with a company called O2, which were mostly known for mobile phones. But they did a small broadband section, so I had a contract with them for broadband internet. Quite decent speeds, reasonably priced, really happy with it. And then they got bought out, that sector anyway at least, by Sky Broadband. Yes, and here's where the story begins. Instantly, my bills went up, and this is all without real warning about this, by the way. The only letters I got about this were just saying, by the way, we've just bought out O2, and you're going to be swapped up. O2 sent me a letter, give me a bit of notice, then one followed from Sky saying, yes, we've taken over, we will be your new contract holders. So, it was still the same existing contract I had with O2, so it shouldn't have changed any of the parameters, but yet Sky did. Here's where the legal dodginess comes in. And this is one thing you're going to notice, is the bending of the law, and just decency, and that companies will go ridiculous lengths to bend. My speeds went down, my bill went up, and that was on my last contract, which was a contract that was signed originally back then, a couple of years ago. It was signed for 14 megabyte speeds down and 1.7 up, which was okay. I was paying very little for the package overall, and the line rental was pretty cheap, so it was a good deal. And then Sky came along and completely fucked that contract right up the arse. Really buggered it. Buggered it really good without even any lubrication. And then after I started complaining about it, saying, well, why is my speeds low? Well, you agreed to it. No, I didn't. You find the evidence that says I agreed to it. They record all of the phone calls that you pay for, by the way. You should see my bill for the last couple of months due to network outages in the area. Like, literally my speeds dropping to less than 100 kps per second, kilobits, like literally not even a megabyte or a gig. It's just, it was abysmal. It was like living in the dark ages. It was worse than dial-up, and I'm old enough to remember dial-up. And not only with all these fucking issues, I thought, right, well, fuck it. Basically what they did on that last contract, after they took over the O2 part on that contract, they went, right, because his bill's gone up, and because we're giving him less service, basically, we're giving you less speed, so let's give them Sky TV for free. Basically, it was like 75p a week, next to nothing, when the package is like £25 a month to the usual customer. And I was paying next to nothing, so I had it for 6 months for 75p a week, and I was like, alright, I'm done with this now, I don't want it. But even though I said I don't want it, they kept giving it me for free for 6 months periods. Like, here, have it free for 6 months, as if I wouldn't clock on to why I'm being given this. I'm not stupid. It's because you're trying to break the law and trying to cover your ass by giving me shit for free to make up for the difference. I'm not daft. And I didn't use the product for years. I refused to even have it plugged in because I don't want their service. I never agreed to it. I stopped after the first 6 months. But yet they continue. So you think the story would end when I come on my new contract, which I'm currently on, which is Sky Max Fibre. So basically it's the fastest speeds I can get unlimited. It's glorious. It'll help me do streaming and upload videos much faster, which it's already helping doing. And that was fine until I got my first email saying how much my bill would be. Now, this is the first bill after you've got to remember this. I've already paid for installation fees and all this stuff, which is easily £150. So that's just for a guy to come out in a van, flick a switch in a little box, and there, bingo, you've got it. There was no actual coming to my house. There was no actual hard labour. So really, yeah, that payment is really just extortionate. So don't be under any doubt about that. And then I checked my bill through this email, and apparently I agreed to Sky Plus. This is not the case. It was never mentioned as part of my contract over the phone or in writing. So therefore it is not part of my contract legally, because it was never agreed. If you never told me it was part of my contract, it doesn't exist as part of it. It's that simple. That's how the law works. I do not have a hard copy anywhere that says that this was included and that I agreed to it. So there's another example of it right here today in late 2016, heading to early 2017, that Sky are still robbing people. And here's an interesting thing when talking to a advisor on their line. She admitted to me that she gets quite a few calls about this recently, and it's all very... You could tell in the tone of her voice, like she was very curious about it. Sky do a lot of dodgy things behind the scenes, and you'll be surprised whenever you're on legal ground and you know that they're dodgy, how many times they go running off to their manager, seeing what they should do. And guess what? You're paying for that while you're on hold, by the way. So that's glorious. So you're still not winning there. And then they come back and say, okay, here's your two options. So for me, I was being billed extra on my bill for something that was never accepted and not part of my contract. And I've got it amended now, so apparently I won't be charged for it, but there's a 31-day period where it takes for it to actually recognise in the system that it's not part of it anymore. It's like, what the fuck? I have to wait a month for something that I never agreed to go away. And my bills are looking way too high. This is ridiculous. And my bills are almost twice the stated estimate, to give you some idea. It was estimated around £40 to £50. I'm being estimated 70 to 80. It's a joke. It's fucking ridiculous. I can't agree with this. And I know that this isn't just happening to me. It's happening to fucking hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people around the world. Some of you may not know this nightmare because you live in a house where someone else is the contract holder with the broadband and stuff like that. But when you're the actual contract holder yourself, like I am, you know the utter bullshit of going through. For example, have you ever tried calling to get new broadband and asked them what their upload speed is? Not one service provider has given me an answer to that. Because apparently that's not important. If you want to know that sort of information, get a business contract. Get a business deal. No. Not actually official business, and no. I'm not going to pay all that for nothing. It's abominable. And for example, why Sky are held as one of the most reliable service providers in the country, it's because their network speeds are so fucking low in comparison that it's fucking not putting any stress on their system. I mean, for the exact same connection that I had with O2 was the same connection I had with my first, when Sky took over. It's the same connection, exact same system. And my speeds went down. And the price went up with the exact same connection. Yeah. Go fuck yourself, Sky. I've been very clear on my phone calls with them. I am not amused. Their games have been noticed, and quite frankly, it's time for a video to just expose the fucking dodgy bastards, quite frankly. I can't recommend going with Sky no matter what unless you can get so much concrete evidence on your contract and keep an eye on them. I have to now, as just standard practice, keep an eye on my bank statements, what's going out and how much they're trying to charge for me. It's ridiculous. This should not be happening. Let alone to mention the States of America where it's all held by one company and you get shit service, just all around customer service, terrible actual broadband service, like as far as the bandwidth and the caps and... First steps to making things better. Unlimited broadband for all. Better speeds for all. And there should be a minimum base plan. There isn't. There isn't like a minimum plan that you can just pick that is just like, here's what you get, and it's very simple, but it's very cheap. There is none of that. It's all bullshit you have to wade through and fucking swim through. Like every deal I have to look for, I'm like, right, what's all the terms and conditions? I have to spend weeks. It took me weeks to decide on what contract to go with, and eventually I just went with Sky because I thought, fuck it. You know what, I was on the phone, I've tried to ring Virgin and stuff like that, and you just get put on hold forever. So actually, that's a big deal in itself. You can't even get through to some of these companies, let alone fucking speak to anyone. And even if you do speak to someone, you daisy chain for a week on that call system fucking dance floor that they love to do. Like, oh, can I put you through to someone else? Put you through, and every single time they put you through to someone else, you have to say the entire ordeal again. The entire brief. You have to say everything that's up with your situation. Which is fucking irritating. So quite frankly, I'm tired of this bullshit. I don't know what to do at the minute. I'm just currently sitting and waiting to see if they do try and bugger me over still. If not, I might have to go to some sort of agency and try and take a small civil court case out on this, because I'm quite tired of it. I've probably been overbilled thousands of pounds over the last couple of years. And quite frankly, I don't appreciate that, because I already get that with gas, electric and everything else sort of companies. And they're supposed to be regulated by government and everything else. We're all being robbed. Is that not blatantly obvious? It's not expensive to really provide these services, especially when it's only one company maintaining them in this country. It's BT who does all the fucking running work, who do all the legwork, and all the other companies just sit on the sidelines. I'm pretty sure about this. All the leaders of these service providers sit around together, circle jerk, and go, how can we make each other richer, chaps? Oh, I know, let's put Sky Plus onto people's accounts that don't want it, and don't tell them about it until they check their bill. Let's turn their speeds down because they didn't notice, even though their contract actually says we're supposed to give them more than that, but we'll give them something for free and they won't notice. Am I just wrong here? I don't think I am. I really don't. So now to add to my anxiety, I have to have extra anxiety about what's my bill going to be next month. And do you know what's the joy of joys? After I finished this latest phone call, she said, right, we've taken the Sky Plus off your account, but it won't register on My Sky, which is the website you use to check your account and check your bills and stuff like that. It says that web part of the website and the system won't update for 12 months. So for 12 months, every time I look at my bill estimate on their website, their official website, on my official account, it's going to say that I'm being billed more than what I am. So even then, I have to go out and check my bank. And that's not easy. Have you ever dealt with a bank? If I go and get a bank statement out of the machine, it doesn't say fuck all. If I ring them up, I pay for the privilege, and I get told only 2 items, and no real details. If I want to log into their online banking system, I have to verify myself a million times to prove it's me. Or I can go down to the actual fucking bank itself, stand in a queue, and look at some twat look at me through a perspex fucking window. So, yeah, it's all a joke and it's all a nightmare. Why can't I make my own internet? Why am I not intelligent enough? I hope you can agree with me. If you have experiences like this, like you have experience with a broadband or service provider just taking the piss and trying to rip you off without you even noticing, leave it in the comment section. I'll be interested to see, because I don't think I'm the only one out there. I hear this quite a lot. So yeah, let me know. I'd love to hear it, but nightmares after nightmares. If it's not one thing, it's another. You can't... The thing that I hold one of the most value in my life is the internet. It's educated me more than any teacher. It's helped me grow in my own personal life. Yeah, so one of the most prized possessions we own in life, and as a race and as a species, the internet, one of our greatest creations, still being held by cowboys to ransom. Yeah, so we have to bend over and accept it, or start giving them a headache. I hope you pick the latter. I'll see you in the next video. For now, goodbye. By the way, Sky, if you're watching this, fuck you. I don't care if you're richer than me and you're sat in your yacht. I hope it looks good on your fucking yacht, you fucking...